Hi everyone, welcome to Age of Warhammer. My name is Grohl and today we're going to be doing a quick review of the new Daughters of Khaine Battletome for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. Thank you very much Games Workshop for sending us a review copy. Now before I get started, I just wanted to let you guys know that this isn't going to be a massively in-depth review. If you've seen any of my ones before, then you know it's not going to be War and Peace. I'm just going to go through some of the things that I think is pretty cool, some cool abilities and things like that. But if there is anything you want us to go into more detail, say points for something, or for a certain sect what their abilities are, that kind of thing, then just pop that down in the comments and we will do our best to help you out with that. Cool, so let's get started. So with all battle tomes for Age of Sigmar, there is so much fluff at the beginning of it, which is amazing. Really sets the tone nicely, but it's literally like half the book, with some really cool bits of artwork, as you can see like here. Really savage. And also one thing I have noticed with this army, which I did know before, but one thing I will point out, is if you are not a fan of painting flesh, this is not the army for you. There's going to be a lot of flesh on show, as you can see with some of these pictures here. But the first thing I wanted to go over is the Khainite sects. So these are, they're warbands within the Daughters of Khaine, and this one here really I gravitated towards, which I'll explain why. Now, excuse me if I don't manage to pronounce these correctly, but I'm guessing this is Drachi Ganeth. If it's not right, then please pop it down in the comments, but don't shout at me. I'm not very good with pronunciations, as you've probably realised in some of my other videos. But the reason why I really like these guys is that they are supreme arena fighters. So they're basically like gladiators. Which, as a former Dark Elder player, I obviously really like that because it's quite similar. So yeah, I really like the sound of these guys, and actually later on I'll show you what their special abilities are, and they are pretty cool as well. So yeah, they really stood out for me. Obviously you got so much with, I mean, that's a great bit, I love that. This is one of the armies that when it did first come out, I was very tempted to pick up. I just really like them, to be honest. Obviously in the middle you've got all these bits where you've actually got some of the models painted quite nicely. There you go. But I wanted to skip ahead a bit and go to some of the rules, which they start from here. So, allegiance abilities. So obviously these are abilities that you can take. Now with any, as I've mentioned before, if you choose to pick one of these sects, they come with their own abilities, which I'll go over in a little bit. But one that I really liked the look of, where is it? It's this one here. So Blood Rights. Again, this is quite similar to the Drakari, where they actually get an ability depending on what the battle round is. And the further, let me go out a bit so you can see them all. The further on, the more abilities they gain, and they keep the ones that they had in the previous battle rounds. So I'll go over these really quickly, and I think they're laid out quite nicely because it's sort of like the order in what a battle would normally go. And I'll explain that as I go on. So you got add 1 to run rolls for this unit. So obviously battle round 1, you're going to want them running at the enemy. Number 2 is add 1 to charge rolls. So again, you've ran at them and then you're charging. This is where it goes a little bit skew-if, but then obviously you're then hitting the enemy, but you would hit them on the second one anyway. But 3 then improves your hit rolls. 4, your wound rolls. And then 5 gives them a ward of 5+, which is very cool. Obviously, if it lasts that long. I mean, not many battles do seem to last that long at all in Age of Sigmar, from what I've experienced. So that's pretty cool. We've got some command traits over on this page here. and there's a few actually that look really, really good from when I read it earlier. And the first one here is this Bathed in Blood, which just sounds lovely. In the combat phase, each time an enemy model is slain by wounds caused by this general's attack, you can heal 1 wound allocated to this general. So a really, really good way of recouping some of the wounds that you might have lost earlier on in the fight, which is very, very cool. And your general should be slaying, if they're against like fodder, they should really be slaying them really. So no, that was really, really cool. This one here, get that centered, Master of Poisons, I thought was really, really cool as well. So at the end of the combat phase, if any wounds caused by this general's attack were allocated to any models on the battlefield in that phase, pick one of these models. That model suffers D6 mortal wounds. That is savage. So if you've fought something, you've wounded it but not killed it, you then do an additional D6 at the end of the combat phase, which is huge, really. If you get a really good roll on that, obviously it could only be 1, but if you get a really, really good roll on that, that could kill a hero just by poisoning them. Obviously they've already taken wounds earlier on, because you have to have wounds for it to even work, but then they get an additional D6, which I think is just absolutely savage. So the next bit, Artifacts of Power. Now the one I wanted to have a look at is this one here, the Rune of Khaine. The first time this bearer is slain, the bearer can fight before they are removed from play. Now I really, really like these rules, and people that I've battled against hate them because they finally killed a unit, and obviously this is against a hero, so I mean it's even better. But they finally killed something they wanted to, but then they get to fight again before they are removed. I think there's one of the Krieg have it in Kill Team, and there's other things. There's actually one in the Knight Codex as well, which I done a review of last week. If you haven't seen that, check that out. But there's one, I think it's called Valiant Last Stand, where they get to fight again before they're removed. Anything like that I think is really, really good, because you're getting 3 attacks. Your unit is already dead, so in theory it should be removed and that's it, but you're getting a free round of fighting. So I think that's really, really nice, and there's nothing they can do about it, which is even nicer. Very infuriating if you're against those types of units, but I quite like them. Cool. So, and then obviously you've got quite a few other ones that you can pick from. But I wanted to go over the spell laws, because there's one of these which I actually really, really liked. Now it's a little bit wordy, so I'm not going to read it all word for word, but I'll hold it there in case you want to pause the video and read it yourself. But basically what it is you can swap 2 units on the battlefield. So if there's 2 units that are within 18 inches, you can just swap them over. So say if you've got one unit that is massively outmatched on one side of the battlefield, you can swap it with a more powerful unit, like even in the fight out, or your opponent could have specifically targeted one of your units, about to charge them. You swap them with another unit, you can then tie them up in combat and protecting your more valuable unit. It's really, really cool. A really, really cool spell, and something which I'm sure, it's quite situational, so you might not see it every game, but when it does happen and it does pull off, that should be quite good in my opinion. So I really, really like that one. Really, really cool. Just check my notes. Right, okay, so, and then you've got some prayer scriptures as well there, so some more goodies that you can go over. Now, as I said, here are the abilities for all of the different sects of Khaine. And this is the one that I like. So it says there, improve the rend characteristics of melee weapons used by friendly Witch Elves units and friendly Sisters of Slaughter units by 1 if those units made a charge move in the same turn. So I think that's really, really good. They charge and they all get a -1 to their rend, or it's improved by -1, which I think they're at a 0 rend anyway. So anything that reduces saves, I think is excellent. And if it's a whole unit that can do that, then that's really, really cool. So some of the ones where you picked like certain factions or whatever, their faction ability or sectability or, you know, whatever it is called for that army, some of them are not that good, but I actually think that one's really, really good. Obviously, it's limited to just those 2 units, but, you know, if you're going to take these, then just take those units. It's a no-brainer, in my opinion. Cool, so then you got Path to Glory. There was one thing in this Path to Glory which I actually really liked, which is this section here. So at the end of a fight, you can pick a hero or one of your battle line units to fight in an arena, in a gladiatorial arena, and then you basically roll off. This is for the heroes and this is for the battle line. But you basically roll off to see what happens to them. Obviously, if you get low, then it's quite bad. But then if you get high, it's really, really good. You get a chance to get some free renown points. Obviously, if you get 6, then that's you know, really, really good for both. Yeah, see, I mean, this one received D3 glory points, and your contestant unit gains D3 renown points. So really, really cool. Really, really cool little sort of like a mini game after the battle, which I like. And then there was a battle which I really, really liked, a battle plan. This one here, Divide and Conquer. Now the reason I like this one is because, as you can see right here, it is 3-player. So the theme of this is basically the Daughters of Khaine are getting these 2 to fight each other through, I don't know, some sort of trickery. Like they've been whispering in their ears, like this person said something about your mum or something, I don't know. But then, so they're fighting each other, but then the Daughters of Khaine come along and basically take them both out in one fell swoop. That's the idea. But I really, really like that because there's not many battles where it's more than 2 players. So I think that's a really, really cool battle plan to have. If you've got 3 people and everyone wants to have a game, you know, you don't want to be the one standing on the side. And the victory points is basically it's just kill them. So it's just a bloodbath, really. As you can see from that, it's all about the points that's left on the board. That's how many victory points you get. So I really, really, really like that one. Now, normally at this stage, I'd go over some of the War Scrolls, but I do not believe that there is actually anything new for this army. I did double check. There's nothing on pre-order, so I think it's all the same units that you guys have already seen in previous Battletomes. But if there is one that you want me to go over, then as I said before, just pop that in the comments down below, and I can go over what abilities or point value or whatever for that unit. But yeah, I'm not going to specifically go into one on this review for that reason. But I mean, as you can see, there's a lot of units now. I mean, I remember when this first came out, there was only a handful, I think. But you got lots and lots of options there, which is very, very nice. So that concludes the very quick review of this Battletome. If you've liked the video, then please give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and we've got a lot of content coming through. We've got big plans for this channel. We've got more reviews, we've got more unboxings, and we're also going to start doing battle reports and things like that. So you might want to tick the notification bell as well, so that you are notified as soon as we upload a new video. But as I said, that is the end of this video. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and take care.